28, because it's been so many things, but that happened. That was a dream come true for me. Another way was to reimagine Nigerian actors in an AI space for a film called Make Mission. Make Mission was the first film centered around AI, but they couldn't get all the actors together in a space. So we said, why? We use AI to do it, so we did that. Yes. So yeah, because of time, let me move. Another way is, if you've seen this Bonvita in stores, I'm sorry to tell you they're not real people, they're AI. We also used AI to design and license these images to Mondelez Cadbury, and this was done 3 years ago as well. Another way I use it is when I'm trying to pitch. So, okay, this is for IBM. IBM wanted to recreate history. My brief was the Beatles. There's a song called Here Comes the Sun. And they wanted to find out what it would be like. What if there was no sun? Would they write that song? So I had to show a different side of history. And this was showcased in Cannes, France, last year as well. Another way I use it is some storyboarding. My traditional background is in filmmaking, TV commercials, and all of that. And this was actually the first, ways I started to use AI. I wanted to see how fast I could storyboard my concepts before I go on sets, but with AI I could now even animate that storyboard to even see what I want to create properly, the shots I want, the angles, everything. I could put the characters in the costume I want. I could show the character, I could show my DP, I could show my gaffer the lighting I want as well. And we shot this commercial in under 5 hours. Normally it takes longer, and this is the end product of the commercial that we shot based from that.
Fitness isn't just about the workouts, it's also about what you nourish your body with. My Zevit morning pill provides 25 essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. With the tap of my phone, I can verify the quality and the supply source of my Zevit. Zevit by night ensures 24-hour protection for my body. I trust my health with Zevit all day, every day. Zevit, for him, for her, and for every you.
This is like the fastest, time I've had on sets. Even the talent was so happy, like everything was there. This is for I'll just play it first. So let me give you a backstory. A company reached out to me from Silicon Valley that they wanted a TV commercial called The Elephant in the Room. And they didn't have time, and they were thinking about how to put an elephant. Let's use AI, and that's why we did this. Yes, let me go back. So yes, tools like AI tools can lower the barrier for creativity. Now everybody can create something. All you need to do is have an imagination, know the right tools that you're combining together, create a new pipeline, and you can have results in no time. Sometimes people confuse AI by putting a prompt to get a result, but I try to make people understand that it's a combination of tools, and it's just a tool, and it depends on what you're trying to tell, the problem you're trying to solve, the story you're trying to tell, that will determine the kind of tool that you use combined together. And this is a case study. I was trying to create a Yoruba sci-fi thing.
Àfojú ẹ̀rí máa ń gbọ́ ọjọ́ orí ẹ̀ ju tèmi lọ. Ìyẹn wàá jẹ́ pé kí ni ipò kan náà làjọ ní.
Ọmọdé kan náà lè bá ẹ má jà.
And the tool for this was just runway ML with one person. Amotayo.
Tó bá bí ẹ̀dá ìwọ dúró mẹ́. Àfojú ẹ̀rí máa ń gbọ́ ọjọ́ orí ẹ̀ ju tèmi lọ. Ìyẹn wàá jẹ́ pé kí ni ipò kan náà làjọ ní.
Ọmọdé kan náà lè bá ẹ má jà.
So just one person, different voices. So funny. Another way is to pitch. When I want to pitch,
Then you have crossed over to the twilight zone. He is waking up. Tie him up quick.
I rebuke you! I rebuke you!
I am sorry to be the one to have to tell you this.
When last were you afraid?
Park here.
so that was a pitch. I had a story written during COVID, and I felt like instead of just sending my script, let me send this, and this is going in production next year, third quarter of next year. The idea behind this was just to see how I could make my paintings move, and that was like an experiment, pretty much. So I'll just go past it. So the idea behind this is a very old Nigerian TV series, I think between 1991 and 1994, called Checkmate. Exactly. So how can we bring back the classics, through animation or through recreating the characters? And I felt like, let's try something, and this is a way that we could do that by either creating a new version of them, same person RMD, or creating an animated version of that and using AI to amplify
A long
it.
time ago, a man natural. That is a promise.
So AI can help digitize archive, even reimagine traditional stories and languages and cultural aesthetics, which is what I was speaking about earlier then. And yes, so before I get into that, I spoke about the bias, I spoke about the misrepresentation, I spoke about how bad it's been, but we're getting to a space where we understand the bias and we know how to approach it. But we go back into the inception of photography for a little bit, and we understand these are the kinds of pictures that AI was trained on. This is the first photographer that came to Nigeria. These were the pictures he took. You're not going to find this on Google. You need to do some research and get into some research books to find it. I see how they're taking, like, it's not, and this is a chief, for instance, in Delta State. This is, yes, exactly, and they're taken, they're numbered, and even when they put it in the books, there are snide remarks that are taken as well. For instance, this was what I found in the book. Maybe someone who has authority or has some influence. She looks like though she's someone important, and look how she was taken. That this was the remarks from the photographer, and that's the photographer over there took the pictures. Now the problem about all these things is, even before AI, we had stock imagery, and when we look at stock imagery, for instance, and we look at the representations of Africans in that space, it's not really representing us. This is Shutterstock, and all you need to type in on Shutterstock is an African kid, and this is what you will find there. And that is a big problem, and this is not even AI, this is, Shutterstock. Exactly, and the problem with that is AI was trained on that. This is Midjourney. When you type in African kids in the city, the first kinds of images you will get are the kind of images, or African kid. Thankfully, Image FX is a lot better because obviously it's trained on better things, like I saw what you did earlier, but some other things are still trained relatively on the bias data. So that led me into, properly collecting data to archive, refine, and tag, so we can train our large language models on who we are, where we're from, and everything that we represent, not just on surface level, but on all the levels as well. I'll complete part of that training sequence as well to get actual skin tones, and all of that. This was my test of different skin tones. So moving on. Another project that I have is called the Legacy Link that I spoke about earlier, where we try to collect data from people aged 80 and above to find out what life was like 60 years ago in correlation to what life is like today, in projection to what life will be in 60 years. Now, everything I'm collecting from everybody that I interview is not just for entertainment or exhibition reasons. I'm training large language models to create digital twins of these people. So in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you can ask them physical questions and they respond to you based on the training data that we have from them. One of the people that we've collected is also Shade Thomas, the first woman designer in Nigeria.
She wanted to show me, London.
London is a city of change and contrast. The River Thames reflects the brooding centuries of history and the bright swirl of today, of life, of now, of the excitements and pleasures of a great capital. The Tower of London. Splendors and miseries, deaths and fires. Music from royal barges.
So she was talking about how she left Nigeria to the UK to...
I remember the place where we first went was Edgware Road. And I saw a model. To me, it was the very new thing I never saw in my life, of a figure of a woman moving and well dressed and moving, and I even told her, I said, "Oh, do they use a human being to display?"
Sorry, let me move on because of time. Yes, another project that I use AI for is something called Rememory. We have lost a lot of historical sites through war, natural disasters, or even just not taking care of them. But how do we regain this thing? How do we reimagine? How can the next generation learn about the Great Wall of Benin, for instance? I learned about the Great Wall of Benin when I was 30, and that I never knew there was anything like that was existing. So we're using artificial intelligence, 3D and virtual reality to reimagine places, historical sites, cultures, languages, even things like communal living, architecture that has been lost to time, and bring that back to see where we are going to in the future, because we need to know where we're coming from first of all and understand who we really are. Thank you. So yes, the power of compelling stories can transform our world. So let's tell intentional stories. Thank you.